All right, so we should be live right now. But before we kind of get this thing underway, I guess first off, I gotta say, I doubt anyone's really noticed or cared, but like I haven't done an interview. See, last time I did an interview, the exact date, it said a month ago. The exact date was June 11th, so little over a month ago. So I might be a little off. Just so if anyone rewatches this somehow, this random interview, I'm like, oh, this guy sucks. Just letting you know. First
Ah,
interview was a month and a half. But then also, before we kind of start talking about things, is there anything that you want to plug or anybody you want to shout out?
Actually, I'd like to shout out Drive Nation, obviously the organization. They've been helping me a lot, especially when it comes to recruiting and having college coaches come out and notice me. And I feel like my dad, my parents have definitely helped a lot. Be able to pay the money and stuff for me to play for Drive, and also take me to places where I need to go to get in front of college coaches' eyes.
For sure, for sure. Well, anyways, I guess let's get right into the interview. So I kind of want to start it off like very, very random, very light question. I want to know more about. I'm always fascinated with Texas people, and I actually met a handful of people from Texas. This wait, did you say something?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, okay. Sorry. Well, I met like a good amount of people from Texas this summer on like my little trip, and I was like, that's crazy. I didn't know all these people lived in Texas. Like, anytime I interview a Texas player, I'm always just so fascinated. So I just want to like, where do you live in Texas exactly? Like what big city?
Okay, so I live in like basically Little M, so like where RJ Hampton went to school.
Okay,
Yeah, so I'm like 2 minutes from that school.
okay. So then what like are you near like Dallas, Houston, San Antonio? Like what's like the big city you're near?
The biggest city is Dallas. I'm probably like
Okay, I don't know if you can hear me, but maybe try refreshing your page again because it just your like audio cut out.
stop looking just a minute. There you go. There you go. All right, bet. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
All right, bet. But yeah, Dallas is the closest. Dallas is the closest biggest city by me. It's 40 minutes from me.
Okay, okay, all right. That's pretty sick. But I guess since you kind of brought up Drive Nation and everything, just like in general, just what's it like just playing for them? Because they're one of those like top, I guess you could say legendary EYBL programs that we got.
Right. John Nation is very good environment to be around, especially everybody wants to see everybody win, especially when it comes to team players, and it doesn't matter. It's not. I'm not talking about one team. I mean the whole organization in general. So 15, 16, eighth grade, everybody wants to see each other win. So there's not really no selfishness on the court. And everybody just wants to see each other eat, and everybody wants to win. So everybody's gonna put their best foot forward in order. Everybody's gonna put their best foot forward, including coaches and fans, in order for them to be able to get that momentum and win the game. That's like it, just like it happened in Peace Champ.
For sure. And I see like I don't know if Tyrese Maxey played for Drive Nation ever, but like I mean you obviously met him and he's kind of a Texas legend. So just what I guess how tell us the story of like how you met him and kind of what that was like just talking to him.
So I met Tyrese when I was probably in the eighth grade. Tyrese, I remember I used to play against Tyrese in scrimmages and stuff, and I used to play against the older guys. Me and Tyrese been knowing each other since about around that time. He played for Drive Nation for one session, one EYBL session last year, I think, and it was he played because of he said he needed to show everybody that he can do something by himself because the team he was playing with before, they've been playing with each other since the second grade. So the team's chemistry was definitely there, but he felt like for the college scouts, he needed to show them that he could do something without them, right? So, but yeah, he played with them, and they did pretty good whenever he was there. I think he was a pretty good fit for them, but I think he just felt like the other route with more chemistry was the better fit for him. But yeah, me and Tyrese are very cool. He's obviously doing big things over there at the 76ers, so I'd like to congrats him on that. So
Yeah. So I guess like obviously I could say like you and I are cool. Like like that work can be interpreted many different ways. I just want like what's like are you and Tyrese kind of close? Like, do you guys ever talk? Does he ever give you advice? Like what's like your relationship like with a guy like him who's now killing it in the NBA?
my thing froze up.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
So what did you say? My fault.
Yeah, like I want to know like is he kind of someone that you look up to give you advice? Or like, do you guys ever like talk occasionally, or what's your overall relationship like with him?
We don't talk like that much no more because obviously, he both busy trying to recruiting wise and stuff like that. But yeah, he's definitely someone I look up to because especially he came out of a small town in Texas just like me. So I think he's a really big inspiration and he's doing big things that I want to be able to do when I grow up. So I obviously come to him for a couple of tips and like little knickknacks in here and there. But yeah, I do.
For sure. So, what's kind of been maybe that one or a couple pieces of like advice or knickknacks that you said that he told you that I guess you're maybe trying to use and incorporate into your future path and everything.
It's actually body language, especially body language is really, really the key into be able to have college coaches want to look at you because with the bad body language, with a bad body language, the coach thinks you're uncoachable. So they think that there's no chance that a couple years later that they'll be able to coach you because they think that you won't be able to develop a good behavior, a good body language on the court. So if you have a bad game or something, you're gonna bring the team down instead of uprising the team. So body language is definitely something he told me about because like obviously I don't know if you've seen Tyrese player, but like Tyrese always has a smile on his face. So it always has a team in a very positive mood instead of that negative mood that nobody needs.
For sure. And honestly, I'm like surprised I haven't even like talked about like body language at all in an interview before because I know like I even saw a tweet on this and someone said like, oh, this college coach was watching film and he said that he had like a whole notepad with a bunch of like his tally marks on it. And someone asked what's the notepad on. He said every time a player, put his hands on his knees or crossed his arms, like put his head down, they did like a tally mark for every single time a player do that. Like body language is something that coaches do look at. But of course, when you're in a game, sometimes you're tired. Sometimes, the body just kind of gets the best of you. So how do you try to apply and just always have a positive body language on the court?
So positive body language. I just try to move on, especially if bad mistakes happen or something. Just try to move on from the situation because if you try to dwell on bad body language comes in, and then everybody thinks that you're having a bad mood, and they feel like you're not playing for the team no more. So whenever I do have a bad body language or something, or if I'm tired, to make it look like I don't have a bad body language, I ask the coach to take me out just to get a little rest, so to make sure it don't look like I have bad body language because that can heavily recruit mess up your recruiting.
Yeah, and honestly, that was something smart. Telling the coach like, "Hey, take me out," kind of give you a couple minutes. That was actually something very smart that I didn't think of. But you talk about that like how it's definitely easier said than done. I feel that's something hard where your brains is or even like your body's is saying like, "Oh, just put your head down just for a second, like oh, kind of feel nice and everything." So how did it take you a long time to really develop the maturity level where it's saying like, just got to move on after this play and not get mad at myself?
Yeah, it did actually. It started whenever I started playing basketball, but it's taken last year. Last year was when I started like really really starting to focus on it because last year is whenever recruiting starting to pick up. So this year I'm at this point I'm just trying to like I don't know how you say it, but like succeed on it, I guess,
Mhm.
or try to master it. So
Yeah.
so I think it's a long journey for it to happen, but when it does happen, you'll definitely thank yourself for having that.
For sure. And transferring into EYBL, like I told you, like I literally I barely know anything that's going on. I think let's see, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think I only know I think Team Durant one, and like each one teach one. I think I'm honestly not really sure, but I mean, obviously you did play with Drive Nation and you were in Peach Jam, so just kind of
Right.
fill me in, I guess, on like what happened for you guys because I'm so out of like I have no idea what happened for everybody.
So for 16s, we made it to the championship. We ended up losing to Team Why Not. I'm not sure
Mhm.
if Team Why Not with Jared
Yeah,
McCain and them. We lost to Team Why Not in triple overtime by 6. But like the journey along the way, we definitely had a hard journey. There was a lot of the beginning of like pool play. There was a lot of blowout games until the energy level started to pick up. You started to play those better teams that's in the EYBL. They were a lot harder. So every time you always had a very like 1 point or 2 point win or a 2 point loss, whatever. We ended up going 11-2. But luckily those games that we lost weren't at the right time, so where we was gonna be at the tournament. So But I think we did pretty good, and I think that next year we're gonna definitely come harder and actually win the chip.
Yeah, and just that Peach Jam experience was kind of something different. You know, they never really did that long stretch of games before, I guess you could say. So, do you think like is that something you liked playing, or do you kind of wish maybe they had it split up with a bunch of different sessions and then Peach Jam?
I think I wish they had sessions. Them 2 weeks was really really long. Especially being in the same hotel and not being able to move because you had to take a COVID test every day, so stuff like that. So it was really like the bubble, like in the NBA. But yeah, I think the sessions would have helped a lot more because you could have gotten a lot more rest. Because you have more time to develop and practice, so everybody could have came at Peace Jam a little way harder than they did in those 2 weeks.
For sure. And you know, you said how it's kind of like the NBA bubble and everything. And something that made the NBA bubble also special was how you're seeing just players from other teams hanging out, like other guys maybe hitting up their old teammates, wanting to like hang out with them. And so was that something that you guys did too? Like were you kind of talking and networking with other players maybe in the hotel or other stuff that weren't a part of your team?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if you ever heard the Junior NBA. So I did the Junior NBA. Me and my other teammate, Ronald Holland on Drive Nation, we went to Junior NBA. Went to the global part. So we knew a lot of kids that went to Junior NBA was at the EYBL Peace Jam. So we actually a lot of the kids that we knew, we definitely had meetings and stuff. We would just talk around, just fill each other's in and with how life's going and stuff like that. But it was a very fun environment to be in.
Yeah. So I don't know if you kind of like share me a story like this. So what was maybe the most fun thing that you did? Hold on a second. Someone just killed my computer. All right, that's mine. All right. I want you to kind of maybe tell me if you can, what like the thing that was the most fun that you did like off the court at Peace Jam. Like I don't know if there was any fun like off court memories you guys had.
The most fun probably is actually when we were at the hotel. Like we didn't really go nowhere like that, but like at the hotel, so our team every year, every time we go to a hotel, we always bring our game system with us, either if it's a 1 day or 2 day tournament, or either way. But we bring our game with us, and we will have 2K and FIFA tournaments and all that. So those really got competitive, So everybody's really going at each other's necks for it and stuff like that just to win that ship. But that was probably the most fun thing because everybody got their mind off of basketball. And they could actually just relax and be able to enjoy themselves like it was an actual summer. So that was kind of refreshing for everybody to have that. So yeah, that was probably the most fun thing we did.
I'm sure having video games and like staying in a room with your teammates is kind of distracting. Like for me, I was this whole summer I was probably going to bed like usually past 1 in the morning, like because I was like, always my friends and everything, and we didn't even have any video games in the rooms we were in. But like when you are, when you're with your friends or your teammates and you got the video games, like all that good stuff, like your phones, like you got a lot of distractions in your room. So like I think you gotta play a basketball game. So how late were you guys staying up? I always wondered like how late the basketball players stay up.
So we'll stay up like the tournaments. The tournaments will probably go to like 12 or 12:30 at times. It depends. It depends on what time we play that next day.
Yeah.
So like if we played at like 8 a.m., we'll probably just chill out on the tournament. We'll have it next day, and we'll probably just like go to bed way earlier than we usually do. But usually we go around like 12 or 12 something because especially for those evening games, like there was a couple games where we didn't play that next game until 6 p.m. So we had the whole day to get our sleep and stuff like that. So yeah, we probably like 12. Probably 12 is like the most normal time we go to sleep.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious too, like about like if you have a game, let's say at 6 p.m. and nothing else during the day, like I feel like that's something that sounds almost tougher to adjust. Where it's like you're waking up and then you just kind of gotta lay around like bored all day till 6 p.m. So what do you do, I guess, before those games to kind of keep your body like alive and awake instead of like waking up from a nap and all of a sudden playing in the game immediately?
So what we do, since the hotel has like a fitness room, everybody would like if we feel tired or if we feel like we need to go wake ourselves up, we'll head to the fitness room, do a little workout, nothing hard or anything, but like probably just get a blood flowing, start sweating a little bit like on the treadmill and stuff like that, just to make sure that you're awoke and you're ready to be able to play that game that's coming up.
Yeah, definitely. And was every team in the same hotel like at Peach Jam, or were there only like a few teams with you guys?
There was a few teams with us, but it was a lot of teams with us though. There's another hotel that was right there, so I guess they were like almost combined. But we had a lot of teams in there. We actually had Night Riders. We had all Night Riders in there.
Okay.
Yeah, we had all the Night Riders kids in there. We had City Rocks, New York Rens. We had a lot of East Coast teams in there. So we just kind of felt like the odd dog out of there.
Yeah. I feel you, and I guess like since something I guess kind of cool with the bubble too again is it's like you have I guess that regular season they had, and then all of a sudden you're in the playoffs.
Things working. All right.
You able to hear me?
All right, I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, well, like, anyways, like in the NBA bubble, you'll see the teams like in the beginning, there's kind of all there, like the regular season, and then as the playoffs start going on, the hotels getting emptier and emptier and emptier. So you guys kind of get that vibe too, where it's like you first get there, everybody's there, and all of a sudden you're at the end of the tournament, like day before the final game, and you see it's just you guys and no other team.
Yeah, it was crazy. There was a lot because it started off. There was probably about maybe 8 to 10 teams in our hotel, and then when that last day come, we was the only ones left. So it was like you couldn't really hear the commotion that usually goes on in the rooms and stuff like that. So it was like a ghost town. So it was kind of silent. So you really just realize and be able to sink in like, dang, like we really right here. Now we just got to go finish the job.
For sure. And then I guess it's maybe PCM UIBL overall. I gotta know about the gear. What your opinion was on that? Like I thought it was cool, but I didn't understand like the theme like they were going with and like why they kind of chose that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the gear was pretty nice.
Yeah.
I didn't get the theme either at first. Touched on the backpack. I think the backpack had to do some with like, I know some of the shoes had to do with some recycling, and then I know the backpack had to do some with like nature and stuff like that because it had
Yeah.
like a fire logo, wood logo, so almost like some Avatar Airbender type stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't get the theme at first, but I think even without the theme, even without knowing the theme, I think the gear was definitely still superb.
Yeah. Like of course like I mean you can't mess like I feel like I love Nike so much. Like I'm literally all I'm wearing right now is like Nike. Like it's my favorite brand. So of course like it's all cool, but I guess it's like a basketball tournament kind of thing. So I was just confused on why they chose that. But you can never like I don't know how the gear's always so nice. Like I remember with the tie-dye gear that I went insane over. Like I was trying so hard to get that for a fat minute, but then I kind of gave up. But now transitioning out of EYBL, someone else that looks like you got to take part in, I think, was the Pangos camp, which looked like that was like an insanely loaded a camp and everything. So how to feel to get invited to there and then compete at that camp with like I guess every single top player being there.
Let's see if it works. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. But nah, the camp felt great. Like when I got the invite, I was so excited because I was like, dang, I really get to go out here and like showcase my talent in front of all these big scouts. Like literally when we went there, there's NBA scouts. There was a whole bunch of rows full of NBA scouts there. So it felt great. And honestly, for me being an underrated kid at the time, me being an underrated kid, not nobody knowing my name or stuff like that, it gave me an opportunity for me to put my name out there, especially with all these big recruit names like Jalen Duren.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? I forgot. It's not Imani Bates. It's somebody else. He's out of Florida though. But what's his name?
Well, whatever. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But all these big names out here, just showcasing their talent, and me being an underrated kid, just going out there to be able to show that I can also be able to compete with these guys that are really getting all the exposure and stuff like that. So that really helped with my recruiting as well, and it was a very great experience.
Yeah, for sure. And someone I'm big on, like I just love hearing about all the relationships and friends. I just think it's so cool. All the basketball players just know each other. Like it really is just one small community. Like now I feel like now that I've been doing this for a while, like it's a rare chance of going to a player's Instagram page and seeing that we have no mutual followers. Like if I see that, I kind of think it's kind of sus. Like now. So were there any guys there that you know were able to become like your new friends or something like that you met at that camp?
Yeah, for sure. Jalen Duran was one of them. He was a really cool dude.
Yeah.
Obviously, I knew everybody from Texas, so like Jordan Walsh, Keontae, Arteria, all of them. So also hanging around with those guys, kind of got around the other big names. So you also got to hang with them. So like I'm friends with Mark Armstrong, people like that. So it was actually pretty fun to be able to see new faces and see these big new faces, and you be able to contact with them and be able to socialize with them.
Yeah, and Jalen Duren's obviously probably the biggest name just in terms of like ranking and everything. And I think height too that you met. And I've spoken to him like a couple times in person. I saw him at Geico Nationals. And since I'm not like a hooper, like I wasn't like with his team or anything like playing, I guess I couldn't really get him to open up. Like obviously we didn't have a lot of time to hang out. But I'm assuming just from the gist, like I kind of could pick this up. He seemed like a guy where, if you're not on his team and like you haven't hung out with him for a while, he's obviously not gonna like be super like I guess friendly and bubbly to you. Like he was just kind of the standard player. But I guess when you were kind of first meeting him and talking to him, and just because he looks like ginormous, at least like from my perspective, what was like just kind of talking to a guy like him where he probably he's not the most social person. Oh shoot. Looks like his thing is glitched out, guys, but he'll be right back in just a moment. I gave him the whole lecture on what to do. So yeah, let's wait for him to come back. All right, let's see. Looks like he's back right now. All right. You able to hear me and everything?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, sounds good. Well, anyways, I guess I didn't hear the question, but I'll say it again. Like I'm curious for a guy like Jalen Duren, who he just doesn't seem like the most friendly guy. Like I've spoken to him a couple of times, and he was nice to me. He gave me like really good answers to my questions, but he just seems like a big, scary, serious guy. Like just from the outsider's perspective. So just kind of getting to know him and everything. What was it like building a relationship with the guy that literally looks like the Hulk?
So actually, yeah, he doesn't really open up much, but he's very serious. But me, I'm a outgoing type of guy. I always make jokes. I'm always trying to make people laugh. So I think I got to him a little bit. But yeah, I think I got him to open up and definitely bust out a couple of jokes and stuff like that. But yeah, he's when you get to know him and you get that goofy side of him, he's definitely a cool person to be hanging around with.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, I think we can have a video. I like cracked a joke like in the interview. I told him, and I saw him laugh a little bit, but yeah, it was definitely a challenge. But I'm kind of like you, where I'm always telling jokes, like always smiling. So it's definitely at some point like you got to smile or laugh with me, or at me. So it's not really a problem. But then also again, I mean, you've really had like super cool experiences this past summer. I guess you could say like now you're ranked top 60 in your class since ESPN extended the ranking. So when you saw that come up, I mean, how cool was that moment?
Man, that moment was so cool because it kind of felt like my hard work kind of paid off some type of how, and I felt like I was getting the eyes that I needed to see, So I felt like I was definitely getting, and I felt like my recruiting was definitely going to amp up way more than it was being underrated. So that really excited me, and it really pushed me. So then I can now aim for that number one spot.
Yeah, and you talk about being underrated. Like, obviously, in my opinion, if you're ranked in general, like I wouldn't say you're underrated. I could say you weren't ranked good enough, maybe. But like being ranked, you're obviously a top dog in the country. Like there's people out there that aren't ranked and a bunch of nobodies because they're not good. Some are good and just are underrated. But I guess how does it feel to be an underrated guy? Now all of a sudden, you're getting a lot of this recognition and everything.
Hello.
Hello, were you able to hear me?
Oh, there it go.
All right, can you hear me? Everything?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So I just want to know, like, how's it feel being an underrated guy? Where now, I guess things are starting to come into fruition. Where you're getting ranked, picking up offers, like you're playing EYBL, where all the things where you're like, man, why don't I have this? Now it's all starting to come to you. How does that feel?
Feels great because it's definitely a relief moment. especially after all the hard work that you've been putting in, stuff like that. You finally see it starting to show. It's starting to come back at you with the reward. So I obviously thank God and thank everybody who's been helping me along this journey. So it's a very relieving moment. It's like when it's on a hot day, you just jump in the pool. You know what I'm saying? So it feels really good to be able to know that people are starting to look at me now, and I feel like that I'm getting the recognition that I deserve.
Definitely. And just kind of these last couple questions here. But before we maybe get into like your school and high school and everything like that, that's kind of what I want to end it off at. At least like what I'm seeing of your room, like looks kind of cool. Your camera's like kind of glitchy, so I don't want you
Oh,
to give me a room tour or anything. But like, see a lot of shoes. I think I
yeah.
see like a basketball and something. Just tell me whatever I'm seeing. Describe to me what that is.
So actually, like above me, I have there's a basketball goal right there hanging up on the wall, and then I have all my shoes up here. I don't. Well, it's not all of them, but these are like most of the that I wear, or most of the shoes that I like the most expensive. Then like around here, like I don't know if you see the banner back there.
Oh yeah,
That
it's sick.
that's from the old school, and then I got like all my trophies and stuff on the other side of the room with all my hats and stuff, and then in front of me is my game and stuff like that. But yeah, I just like to show my accomplishments and stuff like that. Be able to, so whenever people come in, they be like, "Oh yeah, he's definitely done something with his life."
Yeah, but besides the accomplishments, I mean, if you take all those away, I'm just gonna know you're a hype beast or something like that. So, uh,
Yeah.
I just gotta know just a few like kind of quick shoe questions. Which pair of shoes that you have is like the most? I guess not the most. Yeah. I guess like your most expensive, like your most like hype pair.
The most hype pair I had these Yeezy 350 Boost. They're called the Breads. They're all black with the red lettering on them.
Okay,
Then I have the UNC to Chicago Jordan ones up
all right,
here.
that's sick.
Box. Let's see if it works. Let's see if it works again.
Yeah, are you able to hear me or did
All
it
right,
glitch
there we
out
go.
again?
Am I glitched out?
I think you're good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, bet we're chilling. Then I guess maybe see. I gotta pick which shoe question. I don't know. Do you watch Sneaker Shopping with Complex or no? Do you watch those?
I watch it at times. I watch it at times.
Yeah. I'll watch one occasionally. So I always start like it's so funny when I get asked those same questions that the guy asks. But I guess what pair of shoes like do you have any stories about how you got one of the pairs of shoes? Like was any shoe pair like a hard one for you to get or one you had to like work really hard to get?
Yeah, actually, so I have these Kyrie sixes. They're called the Mother's Day or something like that. Mother's Day.
Okay,
So they have like a whole bunch of hearts and stuff on it. So
that's sick.
actually, so actually, we had to. I was in Texas at the time, and I realized they were coming out, and Mother's Day was obviously coming up. So I actually had to. I had a friend of mine that lives in New Jersey. Had to ask them. Had to ask them to give me that pair for me, so then they could send it down for me, and I can. My mom could see that I appreciate her and stuff like that. So my mom has a pair with me.
Oh,
We both have a pair of those. So I think that's the most interesting story I got about my pair of shoes that I have.
yeah. That's actually awesome. Like, that's like pretty cute. But I thought you were gonna say that like you just had there's I think you were this would be kind of like bad if you said this, but I thought you were about to say that I got the shoes with the hearts on them to show my mom. Look at my new pair of shoes. They have hearts on them. Like I thought that's what you were gonna do for Mother's Day, and I was like nothing for your mom, and I was about to start dying of laughter. But that's definitely that's definitely cool though. Like touring with your mom. I wish. No, my mom like is different pair. My mom's like a into Converse. Like I'm not like that. So I would never wear one of those. But
All right.
I've never toured with my mom, but that would definitely be kind of sick. But now a little more serious. I know you chose to now play with John Paul II, which I know they had Manny and Jalen Tyson at that school. So they were obviously doing really really well. I think they might have played on like ESPN or like Fox Sports, something like that. Like they're a very well known team.
Right.
So kind of what led you to pick that school to play for them this season?
Actually, Jay Tyson and Manny actually, they inspired me going over there because I talked with Manny. I've worked out with Manny and stuff, and I knew Jalen Tyson. So they actually, I saw him at AAU one time, and I saw their success that they was doing. I saw the coach, and we all just ended up talking. We all just ended up talking, and they all convinced me to be able to come to John Paul, and that other a couple other friends that goes there that's hoops with them. It convinced me to go over there, and we was thinking because they lost state last year, they didn't make state, so we was like, so I think that my accomplishment for them is to be able to win state for those guys.
Yeah. And it's, I guess you kind of said it best. Like, you're going to try to win states for them. And now like Manny and Jalen are gone. Trimby, they had a few other seniors that aren't there anymore. So I guess, how are you going to maybe feel passionate, have like that fire in your, like in your heart to want to win states when you don't know the feeling of losing in the finals and everything. And now like you're trying to accomplish a goal for people that even though you know them, like you don't really have that team connection with them. Like, how are you going to make sure you're motivated throughout the season to achieve a team goal that you don't understand the heartbreak they got in states?
Well, I think what I could do is with the coach because I know another coach is definitely because we still have the same coach from last year that was there. But I think the coach, I asked the coach to constantly remind me that what we're here for to make sure I keep my team on track. And we obviously go win state because winning state has always been a dream of mine in high school to always win a state championship. So hopefully, so I'm gonna probably keep myself motivated on that and be able to win state for them.
For sure, for sure. And I guess, anyways, man, made it to the end of the interview. Definitely not. I gotta be honest, man. This is not my best work, but it was a little better than I expected.
Right.
Probably you definitely redo it a few months from now. I'll probably be much more back on my form and anything. But I really, really appreciate you for coming on, letting me interview. It's an honor to be able to talk to players like you. But yeah, make sure you guys give us a follow on Instagram. His is at RJ Hoops _, and I'm at iHoopsFL. And anyways, for 2023, John Paul second shooting guard, RJ Jones. Wait, actually, hold on. Never mind. We just got a question from someone actually. So
Okay.
I don't know if he's still here, but let's see. This person says, I have a question. I know he's a very offensive-minded player and wants to score, but I want to know how he feels about defense and what he realistically feels his role is on the defensive end. So actually answer that question, and then we'll end it.
Okay, so on defense, since I've been playing shoot guard my whole life, and I started playing point guard this year. And on defense, I think since I think I still have a lot of size to myself, being 6'3", I obviously being 180 at the time. I think it's I think my mentality on defense to definitely also be one of those pesky guards that push up full court and be able to put pressure on and put pressure on the offense when it comes to and don't let them get into their sets easily. And then also at the size I am right now, be able to help the big men on the board and be able to definitely help them out on the boards, be able to just get the defensive stop so we can go on the offensive end, and then we can worry about the offensive end next.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for answering his question. I appreciate you kind of giving me that insight on your defensive mentality. But now, we can end this thing. Hopefully no interruptions. So make sure you guys give us a follow on Instagram at RJ Hoops _. I'm at iHoopsFL. And anyways, for 2023, John Paul second shooting guard, RJ Jones. I'm Isaac Fleischer, and this has been another iHoopsFL interview. Peace out, guys.
Yeah.